If you're just getting started with Shopify, one of the first real questions you'll run into after setting up your store and figuring out what to sell is, which theme should I use? And trust me, I get it. Picking a theme feels way more complicated than it should be. You scroll through Shopify's theme store, everything looks pretty, but then you realize half of them cost over $300. That's when you start thinking, wait, do I really need to spend that much money just to make my store not look like it was built in 2009? Here's the good news, you don't. Shopify actually has a bunch of free themes that are not only good enough to get you started, but in some cases, they're better than certain paid themes that people still shell out for. The trick is knowing which ones are worth your time. So today, I want to walk you through the best free Shopify themes you can install right now, explain what they're good for, and help you figure out which one actually fits your store. If you're curious about giving Shopify a shot, there's a link in the description that gets you a 3-day free trial, and after that, it's only $1 a month for the next 3 months. Pretty solid deal if you want to test the water, so check that out if you're interested. Okay, so we've got to start with Dawn, because let's be honest, it's probably the first theme you'll ever touch on Shopify. It's Shopify's default free theme, and for a lot of people, it's the one they stick with for years. Personally, for my tutorials, I always go with Dawn. It's reliable, simple, and gets the job done. Now, the best way I can describe Dawn is clean, fast, and reliable. It's not flashy, but it doesn't need to be. Think of it like a white t-shirt. You can wear it anywhere, dress it up, dress it down. It always works. Dawn is super lightweight, which means your store loads quickly. That's huge because if your site takes forever to load, customers bounce before they even see what you're selling. It's also designed to look good on mobile, and since most people shop on their phones now, that's non-negotiable. Where Dawn really works is if you've got a store with just a handful of products, like a one-product store, or maybe a small line of 5 to 10 items. It keeps the focus on your products without unnecessary clutter. And because it's simple, it's easy to customize even if you're new to Shopify. The only downside is that if you're the type who wants tons of fancy animations and effects, Dawn isn't that. But if you want a no-nonsense theme that just works, Dawn is a solid choice. Next up, let's talk about Craft. This one is for the people who want their store to feel less like a warehouse and more like a brand. Craft is designed around storytelling. It gives you big sections for imagery, space for long-form product descriptions, and layouts that feel a little more magazine than catalog. If you're selling something that people connect with emotionally, like handmade goods, lifestyle products, or anything artisanal, Craft lets you present your store in a way that feels personal and polished. The cool part about Craft is that it makes your store look like you've hired a designer, even if you haven't touched a single line of code. You can showcase collections beautifully, highlight product details with big photos, and even mix in editorial style content. Now, if you're running a dropshipping store for phone cases or dog bowls, Craft might be overkill. It's really best if your brand has a story to tell. But if you're building something long-term and you want your store to have that extra personality, Craft is one of the best free options. If you're in the health, beauty, or skincare space, Sense is basically made for you. Out of all the free themes, this one feels the most modern brand right out of the box. Sense has a fresh, bright design with pastel-like colors and a lot of open space. The whole vibe is clean and minimal, which makes it perfect if you're selling skincare products, supplements, cosmetics, or even wellness gear. What I really like about Sense is how it handles product pages. It gives you plenty of space for details without overwhelming the customer. You can have before and after images, testimonials, ingredients lists, all without it looking messy. And again, it's free. If you look at some of the paid themes in this category, they'll charge you hundreds of dollars for basically the same layout. Sense gives you a professional look from the start, and you can tweak it later as your brand grows. Now, if you're the type who wants your products to practically scream at customers the second they land on your page, Refresh might be your pick. Refresh is bold, it's colorful, it uses big blocks of contrast, and it's all about making your products the center of attention. This theme works especially well if you're in something like fitness, sports gear, or activewear, where the energy of the design matches the energy of the products. What sets Refresh apart from Dawn or Craft is that it feels more alive. There's movement in how the layout flows, and it doesn't shy away from using strong visuals. If your brand has bright photos or bold packaging, Refresh will make them pop. The only catch is that if your store is more on the subtle, minimalist side, Refresh might feel a little too much. But if your goal is to grab attention and stand out, it does the job perfectly. Last but not least, there's Studio. This is Shopify's free theme that's tailored for artists, creators, and anyone with a more artsy type of store. Studio has playful fonts, layouts that don't feel rigid, and a design that gives off creative energy. It's great if you're selling digital products, artwork, jewelry, or anything that leans into design and creativity. What's cool about Studio is that it doesn't look like every other Shopify store. A lot of themes end up feeling the same after a while, but Studio has a personality to it. If you want your store to stand out without doing a ton of custom design work, this theme gets you there. Of course, because it's more creative, it might not be the best fit for traditional e-commerce niches like electronics or office supplies, but if your brand is colorful, fan, and design-driven, Studio nails that aesthetic. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, they all sound good, so which one should I actually use? Well, here's the way I look at it. If you want something simple and universal, go with Dawn. If you're telling a brand story, try Craft. If you're in health or beauty, Sense is perfect. If your brand is bold and energetic, go with Refresh. And if you're creative or artsy, Studio is the way to go. And remember, nothing's permanent. The beauty of Shopify is that you can try all these themes out for free, customize them a bit, and see how they feel with your products. You don't have to commit until you find the one that clicks. At the end of the day, your theme is just the foundation. It matters, but what really sells is how you use it. Your photos, your copy, your products. Still, starting with the right free theme saves you money and gives you a professional looking store from day one. And that's going to do it for today's video, folks. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you enjoy this, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Don't forget to check out the Shopify deal in the description if you haven't already. And if you're interested in sponsoring a future video or working with us, you can reach out through the email down there as well. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I will catch you in the next one.